so thought I'd try something different out. I thought I would record a little bit before I go to the cinema and whatnot. Currently with shitty British weather, it is fucking pissing it down, as usual, even in the summer. But off to go see Oppenheimer. It's my first time seeing a Christopher Nolan film in the cinema. Well, I did see The Dark Knight Rises, but I didn't know that was done by Christopher Nolan at the time, so I can't fucking see. So this should hopefully be exciting. Hopefully you enjoy the video to come. Toodle pip. I mean, to be fair, I didn't even say what I thought the film might be like. From what I can see from the trailer, I think it's going to be a cinematic masterpiece. Let's hope that I am correct. So again, this is me straight out of the cinema. I've walked a bit now, so it's not as crowded and things, but I've just finished Oppenheimer and whatnot. I had an absolute fucking blast. It was an amazing film. It is easily my second favourite, if not my most favourite Christopher Nolan film. So yeah, I'll get onto my thoughts and stuff soon with the video. But yeah, that's just what I wanted to say straight away and whatnot. Like, it was an absolute phenomenal cinematic experience. And I think one of, if not, minus things like Marvel and whatnot, that was probably the best cinematic experience I've had in a cinema. And things like that, bar like superhero films and, you know, Spider-Verse and whatnot. It was crazy.
After cinema, after cinema, after cinema reviews.
What is up, guys? Welcome to Boomer Base. Hopefully you enjoyed the new sort of beginning to After Cinema reviews. Unfortunately, with some friends and things away and whatnot, it's not possible to do an Oppenheimer with someone else today, so it shall just be myself speaking. So hopefully you still appreciate the non-coherentness of this video. I will be using some visual aids on my PC in front of me to help remind me, because this is a big film. So if you haven't taken note of the fact that you've clicked on an Oppenheimer video, then I would suggest that you maybe rethink the fact that you've clicked it. If you don't want to hear spoilers, there will be spoilers in this film. So yeah, let's get to it. So, Oppenheimer. First things first, this was a cinematic masterpiece for me. It is one of, if not the best cinema experiences I've had for this type of drama film. I will firstly state I've had probably better experiences with some Marvel films and, you know, Sony films like the Spider-Verse stuff, but for a drama film, this has been one of, if not the best cinema experiences I've had with this type of film in cinema. First, to say I've started to become a big fan of this sort of history, drama, biography type thing, with, to me, in a similar category, films like Spotlight, The Post, All the President's Men, even things like Forrest Gump and Saving Private Ryan. I've started to become more fascinated with American history, in which I've not been really too privy to. I know next to nothing other than from the films that I've watched and just, you know, very small bits of information and things like that. Going into Oppenheimer, I had seen the trailer twice, and to be honest, I'm that stupid that I didn't even really know what it was about prior to that. I think I'd maybe heard of the name Oppenheimer, and maybe the fact that it was to do with the atomic bomb, but I don't know if I would have pieced everything together if I hadn't seen trailers. So I am very happy that I did, and I'm glad I didn't know too much going into it, because it was like all the previous films that I've mentioned, I didn't know too much. You know, like The Post was to do with like the stuff prior to the Watergate incident. You know, All the President's Men was the Watergate incidents. Spotlight was to do with that sort of like the church stuff, to do with like pedophiles and stuff like that, from what I can remember at least. And, you know, Forrest Gump was kind of like an entire, almost like American history sort of film lesson, if you like. But no, we'll get into the film. I've heard that there is no sort of CGI effects done. I think Nolan himself has tried to create everything very organically and naturally, which looked great on screen. Everything from start to finish sounded amazing. I had such fun in the cinema with it. Even though the film was 3 hours, I think it's exactly 3 hours, I didn't really feel the time, to be honest. I knew, of course, from an out-of-body experience, that it was a long time, and I did have to go for one bathroom break in it, which I really tried not to, but it's almost made me want to go watch the film again, just to make sure I can get that 5 minutes that I missed as well. I've just literally come back and I've like scoffed a load of food, so apologies about that. Just because I'm going to see Barbie in about an hour's time. So we'll start with Cillian Murphy, who played Robert Oppenheimer. So I have never personally seen Cillian Murphy in a leading role, to my knowledge. I haven't watched Peaky Blinders or anything like that. So it was really nice to see him in a leading role, and he really stole the screen. And he played Oppenheimer, from my experience, really, really, really well. I would have maybe liked to have seen a bit more emotion in some parts, or maybe got more emotion from some scenes, but he stole the screen. Now, his wife was Kitty Oppenheimer, played by Emily Blunt. She was incredible as well. To be honest, I'm going to say pretty much everyone was incredible. They all were. It was a treat to watch this film. And even more benefits to watching this film is I saw Dune Part 2 and the Napoleon movie trailer, which I'd not seen before, and I am ever so excited for both of those as well. Matt Damon was great. Robert Downey Jr. was really cool. Now I'm going to speak about a spoiler about Robert Downey Jr. I liked that he played a more villain character. I won't reveal all the ins and outs of spoilers and things, but he plays a villain role. Let's just scroll down some of this, IMDb thing. We had Jason Clarke, who was incredible for his minute role, even though he still is in it a fair bit, but it was not a lot. And I'm just scrolling through names. There were so many big names in this film. It was crazy. We had Kenneth Branagh, or Branagh. I don't even know how you pronounce his name. I'm too dyslexic to be able to pronounce names very well. He was really cool in the even smaller amount that he got. I'm literally just scrolling. There was too many names. I saw Huey from, The Boys and whatnot. I saw the guy from Numbers, who's also in Santa Claus. He was really cool. Was this him? Come on, internet. Yes, David Krumholtz, who it was really nice to see him reprise another clever role, in which he played the brother, the mathematician in Numbers, which is a crime film, or crime series, sorry, if anyone's seen that. It was really cool to see him reprise that role. The ugly ass dude from Valerian and Chronicle, he was in it for a fair amount. Oh Lord, who else was in there? I can't even see. Josh Peck was in there, from Drake and Josh. He had a very small role, but again, he was kind of cool. Like, he didn't really get much to work with, but again, it was small. We saw Florence Pugh as well for a very small role, and her character arc was very, very, very sad and upsetting. Again, spoilers. Unfortunately, she killed herself, from what I could gather from the film. I definitely wasn't expecting a nude scene with her. That was certainly something. And something I didn't expect from this type of film, as in the nude scene. Probably my biggest problem with this film was the fact that a lot of people just kept going to the toilet throughout the film, and it was quite annoying. I think with a 3-hour film, they might have been able to have put like a interval at the 1 hour and a half mark. Just be like, look, you got 10 minutes, go for a pee, go for a shit, whatever, and then be back in 10 minutes. Otherwise, you'll miss whatever. But honestly, I think everyone played their part. All the sets looked really cool. The Los Santos, I think Los Santos is the wrong word. I think that's from GTA. There was a place in New Mexico where they built the city to, test out the bomb and things. And that looked really cool. As I've mentioned, from not knowing much, if at all, anything to do with this film, it was very, very informative, and I was just glued to learning more and learning about everything. It was very crazy to see firsthand, how this sort of thing went with the American side of World War II into the sort of atomic bomb race with the stuff to do with Hiroshima and stuff, and some of the after parts that came after that. And I was really happy that it did end where we got to see Oppenheimer and co. at a much older age. One of the really cool things, and again, it's just me being oblivious. I had no idea Albert Einstein was still alive at that point. I thought he had gone many moons ago, but again, really, really cool to see him in that role. Or see him in that role, what the fuck am I on about? It was really cool to see him as a character on screen, because I don't think I've really seen Albert Einstein other than just in random cartoon things, really. But I will just be, I think, almost just rambling. I had such a good time with a 3-hour film in a cinema, and I'm completely astonished. You know, for me, Nolan is my second favourite director behind Ridley Scott, and Interstellar is my favourite Nolan film, and Oppenheimer has securely put itself at number 2, and I would have to rewatch both to decide whether it would take the top spot, as I've only seen Interstellar once. I know I've seen it once and it's my favourite one, but it blew me away. It was one of my favourite films of all time, and I think Oppenheimer might have entered my top 20 as a whole for favourite cinema. I definitely think it's a contender for potentially best film, potentially some of the best, you know, actor or actresses in a film / supporting roles as well. There is a lot in there that I think could at least be nominated, if not take the top spot and win an Oscar for some of those things. Visually, with all the, I liked that there was it kept trying to make you feel elements of how Oppenheimer saw things with his creative mind. It was cool to look at some of the physics elements and hear more about that, as you know, quantum mechanics and physics and things. I'm a dumbass. I don't know much about it at all. It was just kind of nice to see an insight into that. And as an audience member that doesn't know next to squat with it, I didn't feel like I was being blown away with information or just not able to understand. I felt I felt connected to the film, which was really nice. And I don't even know what genre to categorize the things I mentioned with The Post and All the President's Men and stuff, other than just almost American history, almost like biopics, if you like. But I'm slowly finding that it's one of my favourite subgenres of film, if you like. And I'm glad I was able to experience it in the cinema today. I was anticipating it to be a very good film, and I was correct with that in terms of my eyes and whatnot. But I wasn't expecting to be this blown away, and I'm just hoping that Barbie isn't just too terrible, but I'll see about that in about an hour's time and things. You know, it's still very fresh, this movie. It seems to be doing well despite it being released on the same day as Barbie and whatnot. Because I think Barbie is going to attract a lot more attention than Oppenheimer, obviously. And I think potentially the 3-hour mark could be a deterrent for some people with watching this film, and I really hope it doesn't. I couldn't even begin to explain how any of these scenes were done without CGI, and it's a film I really do now want to see in IMAX. There was a couple of elements where the sound was just so loud, and it produced a jump scare, and that it made me jump. I think 2 or 3 times, at least 2. I think a third time as well, which definitely threw me for a loop. Maybe a slight gripe is the third act was maybe a little too drawn out and things, but I mean, I was still happy with the runtime. I could have had a longer film, in all honesty. I could have had, I really liked the HBO mini TV series Chernobyl, and even though I'm, 10 plus minutes into this video, if you've watched Chernobyl and you liked it, you'll love this film, I think. And if you haven't watched Chernobyl, please go watch that as well. It's a phenomenal TV show, and I can't think of a better mini-series that I've watched. It certainly is within my top 10, if not 20 TV shows of all time. And of course I've seen... I don't even know what the fuck I'm on about. My brain is just jittering from side to side with this film. I don't know how to articulate the words very well. It was just... every element to me was just good. But beyond good, it was exceptional, and I can't put into words to display that to you. Los Alamos is the word, I think, from... Yes, I think it's Los Alamos, not Los Santos, bloody fucking GTA. But it was a very interesting character arc that we got displayed. We had kind of there was a sort of interrogation to do with Oppenheimer's national security level, which told the story pretty much, and there was an element that took place after that, but all in black and white, where it was with Robert Downey Jr., where it's to do with a hearing to do with the events of that, in which thankfully Robert Downey Jr.'s character Strauss, had his comeuppance, and then he did a sort of a new up-and-comer person trying to make a name for himself. John F. Kennedy came in, and I was like, hey, a name I know, which was really cool. It was... I can't imagine being an American in that time of the atomic age happening and things, let alone even just like British people in that sort of time as well. It's a very... This film is a very intricately structured film with such tragedy and meaningfulness into it, showing just, Oppenheimer's legacy, really. It's baffling, and I'm humbled and happy that I saw it. And I like the type of film where I become humbled at the end. I like a film where I think cinema does its best work if I want to look at more stuff outside of the film. And I'm not talking like if you watch a Marvel film and want to read the comics. That's to me is a slightly separate thing to that. But if I watch like, I don't know, well, I'm talking about this, I now want to look up stuff to do with Oppenheimer itself. I want to learn more about America in that time. It's the same way when something like you watch Tenet or something, or Memento or Primer, some very or even Inception, and you go and you try and look further to figure things out. Like, I want to know more about what happened in Oppenheimer. I want to watch it to see if I grasp some elements that I didn't quite grasp, because it is a full-on film. Like, there is a lot being thrown at you for 3 hours, and it's a lot of information. For like me, I didn't know much about this, as I've said, but it was a lot, but I still felt like I understood, but I want to understand more. And I think that's some of the beauty with cinema as well. But no, for me, if you made it this far in the film, drop a comment, drop a like, all that stuff. Comment your favourite Nolan movie. As you know, mine's Interstellar. So let me know what yours is. I love to hear. I love to talk with the people that watch, and I like discussing. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video and whatnot. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully you still enjoyed it with just myself in. But take care now. Bye-bye.
Hey, thank you for watching the video. Click the button to keep watching, or click the other video for more videos, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.